friends, welcome.
Sorry, bro. Today I'm going to share with you a very special skill set, one that only the most elite leaders in history have taught, and only to a chosen few. How to set a region on fire, and then have absolutely no idea what to do next. Or, as we might better know it, that thing that started on February 28th, 2026, nobody knows when it'll end, and a new city is burning every day. This is a career guide, but not a normal one. We're not looking at success stories here, because success is boring. We're looking at history's most expensive wrong moves. And this time, the stage is unfolding in real time. Okay, let's start. You're a leader, and you're about to make your biggest move. The scenario is this. The country you've been tweeting about for months might be developing nuclear weapons. Your allies are saying, let's solve this diplomatically. No! Of course it's not you! You're saying no. I have a better idea. This moment has a name in the history books. Pro gamer move. Let's rewind the tape.
What?
On February 28th, 2026, the US and Israel launched simultaneous airstrikes on Iran. The name of the operation, Epic Fury, which is already a signal on its own. What was the first move? Strike from the air. Neutralize Iran's top leadership. Destroy the nuclear sites. The strategy is clear. Get in fast. Get out fast. You know what they call this in history? Iraq 2003. Afghanistan 2001. And every single time, the same lesson gets written on the board, but nobody can erase it. All right, the strikes have begun. What did Iran do? On the morning of March 1st, just a few hours after the strikes, Iran launched simultaneous missile and drone attacks on Israel, UAE, Qatar, Kuwait, Bahrain, Jordan, and Saudi Arabia. Sorry, bro. Air defense systems were exploding over Dubai. Smoke was rising from Gulf ports. An Iranian missile hit the U.S. Fifth Fleet headquarters in Bahrain. At this point, what does anyone who's ever played a strategy game do? I'll leave the answer up to you. I await your comments. What actually happened? The strikes escalated, a new city every day. A new target list every day. Over 9,000 flights, over 9,000 targets. Sounds impressive, right? Yes! But this is exactly where the lag starts. What is military lag? You have the firepower on the ground, but you're not sure what your objective actually is. Pete Hegseth said at a press conference, reopening the Strait of Hormuz is not our core objective. Okay, so what is destroy the nuclear capacity? Crippled the Navy. Collapse the missile industry. Great. And then what? Answer. Maximum optionality. Folks, if your answer to a journalist asking about the war's objective is maximum optionality, that's not a strategy. That's your mom turning off the internet while you're in the middle of a game. Let's go back to June 2025. Before this current war, Trump had attacked Iran then, too. A 12-day operation. Then he came out and said, we obliterated Iran's nuclear program. It's over. A full-on Thanos Snap. But here's the thing we know. When Thanos snapped, half the universe disappeared. But the other half stayed and came back. Iran accepted the deal that supposedly stopped everything in 2025. Then, in 2026, the same table was set again, but this time with more players, more chaos, and a much bigger bill. Let's take note of a lesson here. Announcing that you've solved a problem is not the same as actually solving it. This lesson isn't just for geopolitics. It applies to business, relationships, school. The same mistake everywhere. Closing the tab is not closing the problem. Now, let's get to the best part. Team play. When the US launched its strikes, England and France refused to support them. And what did Trump say? Go get your own oil! The US will not forget this. Let me explain this with an online gaming analogy. You launched a raid, but you didn't ask anyone. The team showed up, saw the situation, said we're not ready for this boss, and left. And now, you're cursing them out. Folks, solo carrying with high ping is possible, but winning a high cost, multi-front Middle East war alone has historically not gone very well. Reliable allies are currently thinking, this started without consulting us. It'll end without consulting us. Why are we even here? When there's no answer to that question, the high ping screen appears, and everyone logs off. So who's paying the bill for all of this? Jet fuel prices have risen 85% since the war began. JetBlue came out and said, we're sorry, but flight prices have gone up. The tension in the Strait of Hormuz rattled global oil markets. Iran attacked the LNG facility in Qatar, the world's largest liquefied natural gas production plant. So here's the scenario. You went to eliminate a nuclear threat, but along the way, you also puncture the main artery of the world's energy circulation system. This is like entering a dungeon in an RPG and breaking the chest next to the boss. The chest opened, a spell came out, the spell hit you, you died. Excellent moves. April 2026. The war is still ongoing. What is Trump saying now? He delayed the energy plant strikes on Iran by 10 days. There are negotiations. Various deadlines were given to Iran. Iran is listing its own conditions. Trump says there's a very different group of people there now. So on one side, war. On the other, negotiation. Both at the same time. In chess terms, this is like continuing to play while also talking at the table. Theoretically possible, in practice, complicated. And here comes our final note from history. If you start a war without planning how to end it, you end up waiting for it to end. And waiting is expensive! So what's our career lesson for today? If you ever find yourself in a position like this, your objective is unclear. Your allies have logged off. You didn't calculate the economic side effects. The thing you said it's over about has started again. Then you've just turned to a new page in history's losers list. But let's also say this. This is not a personal critique. This is a demonstration of how complex decision-making really is. Every major power has repeated the same lesson in the Middle East for 50 years. Maybe the real lesson is this. Some problems are not solved by epic operations, they're solved by boring diplomatic processes. And boring solutions make far less news than operations with cool names. See you in the next video on another page of history.